Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm the author of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, Exploring Your 7 Energy Centers with Mindfulness, Yoga, and Ayurveda. And a great way you can support this YouTube channel is to pick up a copy of my book. It's available on paperback, Kindle, and Audible. So welcome back to our series on the twin flames and twin flame connection. Today we're going to talk about 10 signs that your divine masculine is ready for 3D union, and in this case, reunion. We're assuming that you've already met your divine masculine, whether that person is a male or female in gender. It doesn't matter, but I always refer to divine masculine as he, using the male pronouns, but plug in whatever makes sense to you. So this came to me because union is near, union is close for most of you in this collective. And in my video on the 7 signs to union, it came to me that the divine masculine may not be ready exactly yet for union. I know the divine feminines have been doing a lot of their internal work, their spiritual work, their clearing work, getting rid of karma, karmic relationships, and spiritual growth. And the divine masculine has been doing the same, but maybe your divine masculine is not exactly ready for union yet. So these 10 signs are designed to give the divine feminine a template, just things to look for before you blindly take back your divine masculine in the 3D or the physical form. When we say 3D, we mean in the physical, in this space-time realm of earthly existence that we're speaking of. So it came to me because a few months back, I was ready to do whatever it would take to get my divine masculine back to me. I was ready to drop everything and literally take him back at a second's notice. And that's not a very healthy way to look at things. So I was just so, as a divine feminine, you're going through a lot of growth and a lot of, I'd say trauma, because it's bringing up things from your past, and it could even be past trauma from your past lives, and it can be from past relationships. And so you're going through a purging, if you will. And it is really traumatic at times, where you're just feeling this purging of emotions, and on top of it, you're feeling this really strong connection to your divine masculine, and the attraction is so strong, and you're receiving so many signs. And if you're not certain, go view 2 of my videos. The one is 14 signs that you're in a twin flame relationship, and the last one that has the 7 signs to union. Just look at those and they may resonate with you. But you're going through all of this and all this spiritual growth and all this emotional growth. And if you aren't, then you yourself are not ready for union or reunion in this case. But your divine masculine as well is going through this growth pattern. And when I say it's not healthy to drop everything and take your divine masculine back in the 3D, it means that you need to look for signs that they are actually ready for this unconditionally loving connection. And it's not just a guise, or they're not just still wearing that mask of the ego in order to satisfy a need, an immediate need, just to be with you and to get you back. And it doesn't mean that you need to play hard. It doesn't mean that you need to run away or play difficult. It means that you need to set your boundaries and have self-esteem and self-worth and your dignity and your integrity, and to have your parameters set just so that you know that you are going to take them back when they are acting in, for the most part, right? Because all of us are human, but for the most part, that they're acting from the highest part of themselves. Look for those signs, and as I outline them, just think about those signs. And if you have constant contact with your divine masculine, you might want to just look for those signs of him acting in integrity, or acting with honor, or acting in a more mature way or more mature fashion than he has previously. Now remember, we're all humans. We have imperfections. We have things we need to work on. But for the most part, if there is growth, then you're going to see these changes. And if you are not in contact with your divine masculine, when your divine masculine does come back to you, then certainly you will see those changes. You will see the fruits of the labors happening. Here we go with number 1. He comes to you with an apology or sincere and humble words. What that means is, in some people have a hard time apologizing and saying they're sorry and actually saying those words, I am sorry. And that's okay. I wouldn't go so far as to say you need to push to receive that type of recognition. But if you are in separation or you have been in separation, I am going to bet in most of our cases as divine feminines that there has been a lot of hurt, there has been a lot of pain, there has been lies, there has been deception, there has been ghosting, there has been misleading statements about how they feel. They've concealed their feelings from you. They haven't been upfront and honest about how they feel about you in the relationship. They haven't been upfront and honest about certain aspects of their lives, such as if they're living in addiction or they're married or they're in another relationship. So there has been some sort of deception. And when they are living from the spiritual realm or in the 5D, that they've matured to that level. And remember that being in this twin flame connection is kind of like being in the fast lane. You're really, both of you are really in the fast lane to this connection. So a lot of this maturity and a lot of this growth on both parts is happening at rapid speed. And so sometimes it can take some time to catch up and just realize where you are in this. But number 1 is when they come to you humble, sincere, with an apology, and maybe not saying the words I'm sorry, but maybe just saying the words like, I realize that I haven't been honest with you. I realize that I've deceived you. I realize that I haven't been upfront with you. And, I apologize, or I am really sad that I haven't been able to be that honest with you, and I want to do better. So something to that sort. So it's really coming from a more humble perspective. Number 2, your divine masculine acknowledges his behavior, his past behavior. Again, this is more about recognition. So not only is he humble and sincere and apologetic, he actually acknowledges. So now he wants to tell you the truth. Now he wants to come forward with the truth and maybe answer like a ton of questions that you've had this entire time. Your questions were like, am I going crazy? Has he been lying? Is he being honest with me now? Why was he lying? Why did he deceive? Why did he ghost me when things were going so great? Like, as he comes forward to you in this new spiritual light, he's going to acknowledge his past behavior and say, you know what, that person that I was acting as, that is not me. And usually they'll say something like that. They'll say something like, that is not me. That's not who I am. And I recognize that. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that that behavior is not who I am. And so when they say that behavior is not who I am, it's that they're acknowledging that the ego has been stripped away from the spirit. So in my last video, if you just viewed the video right before this one in time on twin flames, healthy relationship, or codependency, I really explain a little bit better on the behavior of the ego, the behavior of spirit, and what we truly believe in this trajectory, that you're not like getting rid of the ego, but your ego is becoming subservient to your soul. So they will say something like, it is not who I am. And so that's really acknowledgement. Number 3, he performs actions to show you that he's changed. This is super duper 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 important. Having been in a relationship with a person And I know this resonates with you, but having been in a relationship with a person who talks a lot, who talks a good game, who makes a lot of promises, who says he's going to do a lot of things, who speaks out and says, like, don't worry, I'll take care of that. I'll do this, I'll do that. But then later you find that they have no actions to back their words. It can be really frustrating because it breaks the trust. And when they come back to you, they're going to come forward with actions that back up their words. When they come to you, they're going to say, I want us to get together. Let's meet for coffee. Let's talk about this. I really need to talk to you. And then they set a date and a time and a place and they show up. So you're going to see those actions more and more that actually back up the words that they say to you. They're not just saying words. They're not just saying like, let's get together sometime. That would be cool. When I have time, I'll talk to you. But no, they're actually backing up what they're saying with specific places, dates, times, all this stuff to just show up for you. Number 4, he's ready for commitment and he shows you. So one of the things of the runner or the person who keeps running away in this connection or in any relationship for that matter is that many of them do not want a commitment. They don't want a committed relationship. Maybe in their past, they've been used to like using the person of the opposite sex, or the same sex or whatever, the person they're in a relationship with, they're used to just like using them, discarding them, and then moving on. Like whatever it is in them that they do not want to commit, they don't want that commitment, they've been hurt in the past. They say they're not ready for commitment. They say they're not ready for a relationship. They say like, yeah, we can just hook up and it's all good. And, you know, I don't want anything serious. But now when they come back to you, they're going to be like, no, I have thought this over and I'm serious about committing to you. So let's sit down. Let's talk about our future. Let's talk about, you know, getting engaged, getting married, moving in together, buying a home together. So they're really going to ramp it up and rev it up into talking about full-on commitment. And they're not going to be afraid of it. They're like, yeah, I know what I said in the past. I know I said like I didn't want a commitment. I know I said it that I didn't want a relationship, but I've changed and now I recognize this and I know this and I know I want to be in a relationship with you and I know that we have something special and I'm ready. Like, let's get engaged, let's get married, and it's going to happen really quickly. Especially for the collective that's out there. And if you're viewing this, that is generally what's going to happen is they're going to go from zero commitment to let's do this. Like, let's move in together. Let's get engaged. I'm ready. I want to be in this relationship with you. And it's going to totally blindside you, but they're going to show you that. Like, they're going to show you that they want that commitment. Number 5, he's forthcoming about his feelings. Now, granted, some people have a more difficult time talking about their feelings than other, and that is normal. It's just we all are on different ends of the spectrum. Some of us are okay sharing some of our feelings. Some of us aren't okay with sharing our feelings, and some of us share feelings all the time. But wherever your divine masculine is on that spectrum, he is going to feel comfortable enough now to share some of those feelings with you. So, you know, he might say like, I really missed you when you were away and I wasn't in contact with you. I was feeling sad, or, you know, I even had moments where I got teary-eyed when I think about you, or like, I think you're the most beautiful person on the planet. Like, he's really going to come forth with those feelings that he's concealed, that he's held back, and that he is not acknowledged. And so those feelings are going to continually come out, and it's going to be a stream of feelings. And for the divine feminine who hasn't been used to this, it may be really overwhelming. It may be like you've wanted this for so long. You've wanted him to come forward with all of these feelings for so long that when he blurts them out when he's like, oh my gosh, this is how I'm feeling and this is how I have been feeling, and they just come like flowing out, it's going to almost be like too overwhelming for you. You're gonna like take a step back and be like, whoa, like I don't know if I want to hear all this. But hold the space of love for him and hold that space of opening to him so that he feels comfortable doing this on a regular basis. So if you start to back away, then he's not going to feel safe, because if he hasn't shared feelings with you up until now, it's that he hasn't felt safe in doing it. So once he opens up those floodgates, it's going to be overwhelming at first for the divine feminines, but then if you hold the open space for him to express his feelings, then like the floodgates, it's all going to come out and then it's going to go back to normal. And so he may just share his feelings with you like once a week or once every other week, or, when the timing's right. But just know that it's not going to be this constant barrage of feelings all of a sudden, which can be overwhelming for anybody. So, but if he's holding back still, he's not ready. He's not ready for unity and union in the 3D. Not yet, at least. Number 6, he pursues you. I've said this in videos past that the divine feminine is a passive, lunar, attractive energy. And the divine masculine is a yang energy, which is forward moving. So it's fire, it's forward, it's penetrating, it's all pervasive, it's moving forward. So if you are sitting in the divine feminine energy, although very strong, because remember the magnetic attractive quality of that feminine energy is extremely strong, right? It's magnetic. But if you're sitting in that, then you are not the one in this union doing the pursuing. And if you're trying to do the pursuing, you're not sitting in your feminine energy. So your divine masculine, when he's ready, so that's one of the signs, when he is ready, he is going to do the pursuing. He is going to do the moving forward for the relationship, the moving forward for you, the moving forward to bring you guys into communion, whether it be engagement, marriage, moving in together, commitment, whatever it looks like. So it doesn't mean that there will be times in your relationship where it won't flip-flop. But now we're talking about like right now, as union is happening, your divine masculine is going to be the pursuer. And so if you find yourself doing pursuing, you need to take a step back just to see if he's ready. Because if you don't take a step back, you're not going to see if he's actually ready for that union. So let your divine masculine be the pursuer as you guys are coming into union. And then you'll see if he's ready. Number 7. I love this. So this is very, very similar to following through with action. He is actually making plans with you, following through, going through the steps, and not piling things into your lap, okay? So a lot of times in codependent relationships, or in relationships where the woman or the divine feminine, we're not going to discriminate, but where the divine feminine is taking on both roles, either the role of the masculine and the feminine, or the divine feminine is taking on a more masculine role, what we have seen in relationships is that the divine masculine will tend to make plans and then put all the burden on top of the other person, the divine feminine, because the divine feminine is not sitting in the divine feminine energy, either embracing both energies and kind of taking it over, or taking on the qualities of the divine masculine energy and feeling overburdened. So if he is making plans with you and it's his idea, then he is following suit to actually follow through with those plans without letting the burden fall on your shoulders. So do you understand the difference there? The difference is being accountable, making those plans, taking it step by step through the details and following through to the end results. So they're not like dropping the ball on things. They're not putting the burden on you or on someone else, even a third party. So they're really, really paying attention to following through on detail and being accountable for what they say they're going to do and holding true to their actions. And that is a really clear way to know that they're living from their higher self, that they can hold that accountability, really. Number 8, he has let go of people who are not an energetic match anymore. And that includes like people pleasing, holding on to relationships that are codependent and karmic in nature. And he is living in his personal power. This is really important. So if your divine masculine has been enabling people who can't take care of themselves, or he has been people pleasing, so usually with people pleasing, it's more like overcommitting to a bunch of people and not being able to follow through, or just trying to like get people to believe that he's really a nice person, so then he overcommits. He's wrapped up in the people pleasing. He's wrapped up in doing too many things for too many people. He's wrapped up in keeping and holding on to relationships that don't serve him anymore, but there's this neediness and then he feels needed. And so it could be ex-girlfriends, ex-spouses, parents, siblings, friends. And before, this has been a dividing factor for you and your divine masculine. So now, as he moves into 5D consciousness or the soul consciousness, he's realizing that these people, while it's good to help, are not an energetic match for him anymore. So he's starting to detach himself from these types of people that drain the energy, that all they do is take, and they don't give back. That people pleasing is not something that's pleasing to him anymore, that it's okay to have people not like him, and it's okay to have people like get angry if he says no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to put up boundaries. It's okay to take care of himself. So all of these things are just indications that now he's living from spirit. He's not living from that ego consciousness where I need somebody to need me, so I'm going to overcommit and commit to all these people who are leeching my energy and resources and strength. And that doesn't leave me any time to take care of myself or the people that I really care about. So that is a great sign right there. Number 9, he puts you first over most things. This is huge. And this follows number 8 because it has a lot to do with what happened in number 8. So I know divine masculines out there that are workaholics and they overwork. And so one of the mantras that they've been telling their divine feminines is, I don't have time for you. I have too much work. My job is very demanding and I can't spend time with you. Or I don't have time for this. I don't have time for a date. I don't have time for a relationship. I don't have time for a relationship. Or all these other people need me and I need to do these things for them, so I don't have time to spend with you. And when they become awakened, they realize their priorities. So they realize the relationships that are most important to them, the things in life that are most important, the spiritual journey that helps them awaken to more acts of service, but based in unconditional love, not based out of obligation, not based out of something that someone else expects them to do. And then again, they start to put up those boundaries, those healthy boundaries for themselves. So if a boss is asking them to constantly work overtime, that they're able to say, no, my family comes first, my love comes first, my children come first. Like, I will put in the work and I will put in the hours. I will give it my all while I'm here, but I do need to say no to this. So they really have this maturity about them, this growth about them, this dignity about them, this honor, where they honor themselves so much that they're able to put up those boundaries, but then it's going to free up a whole host of time to spend with you, their beloved. And when I say most of the time, so, you know, we need to take into account that a lot of the divine masculines have children. They might have small children. They might even have babies. But in the past, they've used their children as a buffer between you and them. So they've used the children as an excuse between you and them. They've used those children as, I'm just giving you an example. It could be anything. It could be work, like I said. But they're putting those children as a barrier, just as an excuse to not have intimacy, to not have that close relationship with you, their divine feminine, that they know they really want inside. They really want this close relationship, but they're taking an easy way out, and they have been. Just like work, that's an easy way out. Oh, I have too many work meetings. I work long hours. Like, I'm trying to go up the corporate ladder. Like, it's way too easy to say that, because what are you going to do? Like, you're going to argue, don't go up the corporate ladder? Like, you know. So, but now the priorities are going to reprioritize so that they have time for themselves to be healthy and to exercise and to eat healthy and to be with you, their beloved, and to take care of their children and to take care of the stuff at home. So it's going to be a much more healthy balance, and you'll see that. Number 10, and this is a line from one of my favorite TV shows from the past, Once Upon a Time, with Snow and Charming. And I mentioned Snow and Charming, I think, a few videos ago. But he will always find you. He will always find you. He is your beloved. He is your soul. He is your other half, if you will. Like, he will always find you. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to fret. You don't have to stay in panic energy or worry energy or desperation energy or poverty energy. Like, none of that. Genuinely, when he is ready, when his soul is ready, when his soul is crying out for you and to you, and meaning like, I'm ready now to live my soul purpose. So when he is truly, truly ready to live his soul purpose, he will come and find you. He will find you. He will always find you. I love that line from Once Upon a Time. He will always find you. So stay in faith, stay optimistic, keep your center, and stay grounded. And there was one YouTuber, I'll say this as a final word for you guys. There was a YouTuber who I don't even know. I stumbled upon one of his videos on Twin Flames. He's very funny, very kind of like matter of the fact funny. He has an accent from the south of the United States, which makes him even funnier if you're not from there, just because his accent's so cute. But he talks about reunion with your divine masculine. I'm imagining this guy is a divine feminine in love with a divine masculine female, because I think that's what he had mentioned. And so he kind of says, you know, if he comes back to you with like no commitment, no follow through on promises, not sharing his feelings, you're going to send back those damaged goods. And I just loved that. I thought it was so funny. And what he was saying in essence was, yes, you guys are connected. Yes, you're soul connected. Yes, you're meant to be together. Yes, you've been waiting a long time. Yes, you can be super excited and anxious and happy and elated when your divine masculine shows you interest that he does want to get back together with you. But look for those signs. Look for those signs that, you know, if he's in jealousy, so those are some of the feedback that I've been getting, like if he's living in jealous energy, if he's still married to somebody else, if he's still in a relationship with somebody else, if he is still living in drama and all of that, like he is not ready to be with you, the divine feminine, the queen, the empress, the high priestess, like he is not ready to be with you. So you're going to send back those damaged goods. And I say that in light. I say that in fun, right? So it's like, you need to hold your dignity. You need to hold your honor. You need to hold your strength and your personal power. Be kind, be compassionate, be loving. But hold your boundaries and be like, you know what? I think maybe we both have a little bit of work to work through before we're ready to be together. And if he doesn't understand, then you can try to gently, tell him, this is what I feel. And if he's still a little bit confused, then, you can send him away and say, well, maybe you could do some meditation about this or some prayer and, reflect on it. And maybe, once you do that, maybe you'll get some better ideas. So just, you don't want to like hold him back and be angry and frustrated and angry and like in fear, that fear-based energy, but just hold your ground with dignity and kindness and gentleness. So that is how you know that you're ready for union is when you see those signs and he comes to you with an energy that matches your renewed energy in this soul field versus the ego field. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Share this video with other twin flames. Thank you for buying a book and or pledging your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.